right. Good morning, everybody. We are here at the club. It is May 19th. It's our on week, and you will be seeing this on YouTube for those of you who are not here in the club. We are going to start today with Jim. And Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit about this video you're going to show?
Well, the race was Saturday night.
Who is in this race?
It's my great-grandson, Dominic, and he races cars. He's the 2023, 2024 champion at the Bandolero and at the Tucson Speedway. And I take his videos all the time. And I've got some questions on what I could have done better photographing it. I'm not real happy with the photographing, but I put this together and it's basically for friends and family.
Yeah.
But
all right, well, let's check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's some cute stuff in it.
Well, and we'll see what we can talk about with it too. Okay, here we go. Let's get that going.
Quarter-midget experience, and we're going to be getting the green flag next time as the Pace Corvette drops down. Brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet, and green flag in the air for Desert Valley Landscaping Bandolero. And we're going to go green flag to the start. Nikki Oliver and Dominic West to his outside, and Sophia Madrano to his inside. And we go 4 wide for the front row on lap number 1. Austin Schmick does his best to keep it straight there and able to hold on to 4th, but we got a strong charge of cars led by Sophia Madrano. They are Nikki Oliver trying to track down Dominic West after he got a great jump on the outside at the start of this race. Chaos Kenzie working the outside for second now, able to get a nose out front. Sophia Madrano, once again, Madrano, the granddaughter of our super late model modified racer, Bill Engel. A lot of family connections out there in the Bandolero. Austin Schmick and Matty White will be side by side. Austin Schmick opted for the high line. Matty White drives it down low and is able to get out front. That's for the 6th position out there on track, but Dominic West is going to lead lap number 3. Out pretty well here early on for Bandolero. This will give these drivers some space to pick out their lines and really focus on finding speed around the racetrack. Right now Chaos Kenzie Parker, currently a half-second faster on track than Dominic West and trying to track down the leader. Goes down to about 4 car lengths and racing entering the 1-2 corner. Chaos Kenzie going to be looking for the lead here on the back straightaway. Not able to quite get the run that time. She'll stay in line entering 3 and 4. That's where she'll choose to make her move coming up the track a little bit. Trying to see if her more keep up here as the car approaches one of her heat race. Dominic West putting together heat race. Then we got a caution now car around in turn 4. That's the 17 of Chase Schilling. I know Dominic West, Chaos Kenzie, Chase Schilling, Nikki Alleman, Matty White, and Austin Schmick have competed in quarter midgets together at one point or another. And now out here at Tucson Speedway, competing in the Bandolero class. Green flag wins, and these drivers are back on the way. Outside, but Dominic West on the low line and cut distance of the track and get himself back up front on lap number 5 here. I believe we're 5 laps in, have 10 laps to go. High closing rate of speed there for Chaos Kenzie Parker. She's going to have to be excited about this. Parker trying to control side by side. The know, when the driver sitting Dominic West is hitting the low line this strong lap after lap, to be able to get your car on the outside with the momentum to pull side by side, quite a tough chaos test we're looking for here in 1 and 2. And hear himself say out front. Not much big difference those two drivers. Looks like she might look a little bit to the outside of the back straightaway, but nothing working. These cars running nearly identical laps. The last 2 laps consecutively, where speeds have been separated by less than 3,000ths of a second. These drivers are about running the same out there. It's as neck and neck as it can get between two drivers, especially at this age, showing inconsistency. It'll be interesting to see who can come out on top, but yeah, there is waiting. We're inside of 5 laps, still 11 laps in. I believe that marks us out 4 to go. We can test it out with the Santa Clara driver. Two-time defending champion Dominic West holding strong up front, trying to hold off a strong charge here from that 66K, but she's not going away. Trying to build up the momentum down on the outside. She's through this outside quarter panel. Now working though, has the ball back in line down low. Dominic West is perfectly defending that inside line. He's not letting this car come up in inches. Chaos gonna swing it wide, try and look for the momentum here. Back in line behind the 95. Trying some different lines out, trying to see if she can pick up momentum. Couple laps remaining, running out of time to make this pass. Put it on the outside once again as we take the white. One more time around with Dominic West. That's perfect. Giving the whole way. Looking to go back to back to start the season. Chaos is going to look to the outside one more time at 3 and 4. And not quite able to get there. Dominic West.
That was the most terrifying race ever.
Here he comes, Dominic West. Dominic, come on out, buddy. Grandma and Grandpa said Grandma almost had a heart attack. Dude, she raced you. She scared you, man.
Yeah. Oh my God. That was the most terrifying race I've ever been in. A couple more laps, she might have had me.
You know, which is good because it proves that you guys are very, very talented, and we enjoy watching you guys in this Bandolero division and everything, because this is where our future comes from.
Yeah.
You know what, though? Were you more scared, or were you just sitting there and everything, just more kind of like panicked about maybe she's going to pass you?
Panicked about she was going to pass me.
That's a good racer because you always want to win, right?
Yeah. I'd like to thank the fans, the crew, my crew, and my loudest sponsor, Melissa. Grandma and Grandpa, great-grandpa, great-grandma, Craig. Yeah, I dedicated this race to Karen and my great-grandma, Grandma Connie.
All right. Congratulations, Dominic. That was a heck of a show. And honestly, one false move and it was you that had you.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, give it up for Dominic West. Dominic West, the young kid, does it once again at Tucson Speedway, coming home in victory lane for the second time this season. That'll help him hold on to his points lead as he's looking for his third straight championship this season. One of the top drivers in this class over the last handful of years.
Well, what do we think of that?
Super.
Enjoyable.
It called my interest.
How many laps do they run?
15.
And the engines, I'm sure they have a maximum that they're allowed to accelerate to.
All the cars are inspected after the race, make sure that they're all the same. They even pull the heads off of some engines. You know, to make sure that it's not bored out or anything. And they have to be all equal.
Sure.
And,
Is it age restricted?
yes, it is.
How old is Dominic?
Well, Dominic started racing that car at 7 years old. Yeah. And,
How old is he now?
he's 9 years old now. He's gonna be 10 in July.
Oh my.
And, but he's been racing ornamented cars since he was 5 years old. So he's a well experienced racer. And,
Would they let you get in the pit? I was thinking if you were asking about other shots, it'd be cool if you could have photographed maybe something low, deep inside from
Yeah.
inside or whatever.
it costs $40 to get into the pit.
Okay.
And then you have to be sponsored by one of the cars, to get into the pit. And, I did, one thing that I did there in the interview, I taped that before, but I don't get all the voice. It's like a echo chamber down there.
Right.
And it's bad. So I had my wife recording the voice up by the loudspeaker on the stand.
Smart.
And then I spliced it in there to
Nice.
make it sound a little better.
That's very smart.
Yeah.
I like that idea. Well, what other things were you questioning about?
Well, on the photography, I'm taking it with the iPhone 13 Pro.
Yeah.
And, I get this light, I don't know what you call
You're
it.
getting the light flare?
Yeah,
Well, the one thing here's my biggest trick for anybody shooting. If you get there's a little bit of,
Lens flare?
lens flare, which doesn't bother me. See the lights up above and you see that kind of smeary? Before you start shooting, clean your phone. I do that all the time. I've gotten now into the habit. On the normal lens, like on this phone, it's got 3 lenses. On the normal lens and the telephoto, it's not as bad, but on the wide angle, you can get that kind of smeary, diffused look. So before the race starts, when you're ready to go, just rub it on your shirt. Get that lens nice and clean. That'll help that.
now, on the lens on the iPhone, like a camera, you gotta be so careful not to get the lens dirty.
Right.
I always thought. But, iPhone, you put in your pocket
Oh, yeah.
and, doesn't that run the lens on it after?
It's got that, there's Gorilla Glass, which really helps. So, you have to really do something, like you'd have to drop it into pebbles or something and to scratch that lens. Really, just sticking it in your pocket isn't gonna cost a lot of issues. Yeah, Jake?
Yeah, I have a protective lens cover over my lens, and then I had to learn the hard way about cleaning the lens because my rotor club, I have to take the weekly photos with it.
Yeah.
I have to make sure that lens is perfectly clean, and then it comes out great. But if I skip it, there's a little bit of modification. It's not loved as much as it was.
Yes, I would agree. I think once you make that mistake, so to speak, where you have it and you didn't clean the lens, and then you see the photos or the video that you've shot, and you're like, oh my God, this is, it's smeary, it's horrible. You then get into the habit now of almost any time now, I just subconsciously, I'm always like, if I'm carrying my phone and I'm walking around or I have it on the gimbal or something, And I'll always sit there right before I shoot, just real quick on the sleeve, something, just to give it a quick clean. That'll help that a bunch.
Okay. And then, on the GoPro shots.
Yeah,
I'm getting reflection in the dashboard.
yeah,
How can I eliminate that?
as in this reflection here you're seeing in the glass.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything you can do about that. Just because of the light is hitting the dash. Well, the one thing you could do is if you have them paint the dash black.
Yeah.
If you did that, that would help big time.
But if you see the car, it's painted in the colors of,
Yeah.
Disney's cars,
Sure.
and it's got that eyeballs on it.
Is this the hood?
No, that's the dashboard.
I'm sure that's a shadow of the eyeball.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, so on the hood, there's the eyeball.
on the dashboard.
Oh, I guess the question is, how deep is this dashboard?
That's
Like 6-8 inches or more than that?
I think it's about 8 inches maybe.
Oh, well, there's no way around that. That's what it's seeing. So in my world, if I said, okay, I really need to see that, I'm gonna paint that black.
No,
You're just gonna have to live with it. The other goodie too is you could always try to mount you've got the camera mounted here. Maybe if you had something mounted out on the side,
it took an arm and a leg to convince my boy to put a
a GoPro.
GoPro in there. He did not want a GoPro in there.
Why is that? Because he didn't want to be
Well,
analyzed that,
it can't be in his way,
right?
and it can't be a distraction at all, so it's got to
Right.
be behind him,
Right.
and he's afraid that it would fall off
Oh, sure.
and hit some other car
Oh,
or
yeah.
something, and
Yeah.
On the outside. Could you put the eyeballs on the hood instead of on the dashboard?
no, that's not gonna change.
Okay.
I think if we could put some temporary blackout in there during the
Yeah.
race or something.
Have you shot this shot in the daytime with the GoPro?
Yeah,
Do you see the reflection during the daytime? Or not as bad as this?
I'd have to look.
Okay.
I'd have to look. I didn't do anything with the
Okay.
codes, so.
Well, the other goodie too, and I've shown it before, I've got a magnet mount that you could use potentially on the hood, or not on the hood, but on the roof of the car.
It's all fiberglass.
It's all fiberglass. Man, you're presenting all kinds of challenges. Oh, well,
Suction cup.
a suction cup possibly, but the fear would be
It would pop off.
Falling
if it falls off.
I mean, look what happened on your Caterpillar.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that might have ripped off.
I wouldn't be worried about damaging the camera, but I'd be
Right.
worried about some of
Yes.
the car.
Yes,
Can you get a polarizer for the GoPro? That might eliminate some of that.
possibly, but I think it's just the nature of the reflection and it, because of the way that is. If you look out the side, clear as a bell, because there's nothing there. Right. That's what you're ultimately trying to get. I wonder, the other goodie too is I wonder if you could, and I'd have to see the car, the inside, but if you could mount the camera potentially, back here somewhere, there's a roll bar or something in the back that you could kind of shooting even a little bit of a different angle, potentially, you might,
That's
you'd
not,
have to just try it and see.
I have a question,
Yeah,
where the part is on the dash, is that like a speaker or what is it?
it's a decal eyeballs.
What, can you paint that a different color?
well,
I could, but
I was gonna say, because if you painted it white, because you notice the
Yeah.
windshield is black. If you painted it white, the windshield would be
you'd have to say,
white, white.
if the dash was painted white, you're gonna have the same issue. That's why I'm saying black, because at least the black potentially is looking through.
Oh,
If this was white, that's still gonna reflect white.
I was thinking the white part was looking through.
No, I think it's just the nature of what's going on.
Yeah,
Mounting it on the dash is out of the question.
Yeah, it would be a
It
distraction.
might be a distraction for him.
Yeah, you couldn't have anything blocking his
Yeah.
vision.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the thing that I like is you're trying something that's really advanced here in terms of, I like the idea of getting the footage in the car with the GoPro, and then you've got, you're shooting the outside, which to me is nice. You're giving us a little different, what he's, as you see him going through you watch as his head bounces as he's going. Look at that, and with the steering wheel and everything.
Yeah.
Which is great. I mean, it really shows he's working in there. He's not just, it's not some Sunday drive. I mean, look at him go.
So evidently the girl must have got real close at the
Yeah,
end.
she must have gotten real close. She got real close at the very end. So she was catching him.
Yeah.
There she is. So that's why it's scary. Now, was there any other
No,
photography questions, so to speak?
no.
When's your race again?
Next month,
Oh, okay.
it's once a month, about.
And are they racing at night now because of summertime?
That's when the races start, the races begin at 6:30 at
Oh,
night.
okay.
And, they have heat races first,
Sure.
and, then they have the main event. This was the main event.
Okay.
The heat races are 6 laps,
Okay.
and, all of the cars, there's different classification of cars that are adults
Yeah.
cars, and so after the heat race, then, the main event start, and that usually starts around 7:30.
Okay. Did you, during the heat races, did you shoot any in-car stuff like this?
Yes,
Do you still see the reflection in that footage?
I'll have to look at,
Look and see. It's interesting to see during the day, at least there's probably a little bit of daylight still
yeah.
that's going on. It'd be interesting to see. If
What-
not, I'm glad.
What's the source of the rumbling or the, hitting
It's
when he's
the,
driving?
it's the surface of the track.
Okay.
And it's pretty solid suspension on the
Oh,
cars.
okay.
Yeah.
It's not like.
It's like a go-kart in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no suspension. So, yeah, and you see that hands,
That's
he's
a
working.
surprise to see.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not just a smooth Sunday drive. It's working. So,
You can tell by his hands.
Yeah.
oh, yeah. It's got
And, the whole time he's
yeah,
really driving.
He's pretty tired after 15.
I bet he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have one hand on the wheel and one out the way.
Okay, how long did this interior shot last? 10 seconds?
Oh, well, at least that section.
If you were to cut this to 3 seconds, we'll put it in there 2 or 3 times.
Well, you
And
could.
then you wouldn't notice, you're sitting here looking at that dash, but if you didn't get a chance to really examine it, you'd get the steering wheel,
I guess the question would be,
a little bit.
well, as most people will look at this, what's the thing that they're looking at? We look at it from a photography standpoint. They're looking at Dominic's hands and his
Right.
head versus I can see out that front window. But, possibly, maybe the thing to try is some sort of, and you don't have to paint the dash, but maybe try with some.
That's Kate.
You might, the problem is the paint might pull up with the duct tape. But I would take either some black paper or something like that, some black material, like black cloth, and tape it to the dash and potentially just see what it would do. It's like experimentation. You have to try something. Does it work or not? If it doesn't, okay, then try something else.
Can you just slowly go through that interior footage and see?
Well, he does this little blending thing where he's got a little opacity going. You see where he's got the track there?
Mm-hmm.
He's married the images together. See the track,
Mm-hmm.
the fence? I mean, see right there, you're seeing the start finish line. If you look at through the glass,
Right.
So you are seeing through. I think it just depends on at
The
what
light.
point the light is hitting.
Right.
And there may be points where it's
Well,
hitting
that was what I
more.
was gonna say is if he was to take those areas, cause I'm sure you've got that GoPro for the whole race.
Right.
And there's probably areas where
It's
the
not-
reflection and just use those sections that, you know, look at
Sure.
what you've got. Cause it really doesn't matter where he's at on the track, except for perhaps the finish line. If you wanted to marry that finish line close to where he actually crosses the finish line on the other shot.
Sure. Did you try syncing this up at all? Whether it's at the same time?
I got pretty
Close.
you know,
Yeah. Well, and that might be something that, potentially, you know, I like the idea. It's just, I think because if you look too, the track is black there. And so that white really pops when he's back at the start finish line. We really see it because now there's something that's lighter on the track. So, I mean, there's multiple things that are going on.
Right.
Here comes the start finish line coming back. Dun, 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 dun. There it is right there. And you see the green light up in the dash or up in the window from telling them that they can go. So, yeah, it's an interesting challenge. Definitely. I mean, I think it's just a matter of try some different things and see what happens.
Does he practice during the week at all?
he practices at the quarter midget track, which is a different type of car. And at the quarter midget track in Marana, they join a club.
Yeah.
And it costs $100 a year to join the club for a family. And they can go to that track anytime they want.
Oh, nice.
And practice. But the Tucson Speedway is just hard to practice there.
Yeah.
They only have one practice day, and he's got to go to school.
Sure.
So,
Well, the other issue would be, Doug, if he's doing the Marana track, it's a different type of car. It's
Yeah.
not the same exact.
Right.
but the skill set that he learned in Marana.
Oh, yes.
is
Sure.
helped him a lot here.
Yeah.
People might not notice a different dash. You might get put the camera in that car.
You had, I think there was at the Miranda track, you did one a while back, but you're looking at him, I think, didn't you?
Right, that was during practice.
Okay.
It was during a practice.
And then he didn't like that.
No,
He was okay with that?
he was okay with that
Okay,
in a practice, but not
Not for the race.
Real race.
okay,
And there's collisions in the quarter midgets.
right,
And you know, you just don't want a camera playing.
Yes. yeah.
So,
Well, you gotta make sure whatever you're doing, it's obviously really secured
yeah.
and make some sort of a safety lanyard on it as well.
Right.
Okay, does anybody have anything else on that? All right, well, thank you, Jim, that
Cool
was
stuff
good.
though.
I love
I say it's really cool stuff. It's stuff that nobody gets to see.
Well, and especially that in-car camera shot. When I was looking at the video before, and I'm like, oh, I love the in-car stuff.
Yeah.
So, nice. All right. Well, since Joe is not here, we have one more video, and then that's it for today in terms of the on-camera stuff. I have a little video that I did from San Diego. There's an area, for those of you who've been up by La Jolla, there is a glider port up there by the golf course at Torrey Pines. And you'll see these guys with their things. So anyway, this is just a little video with some of that footage.
Do we want a gimbal? When you shot?
Yes. Yeah, I had a gimbal for the phone and was following people
Were
as
you
they would go by.
doing drone footage too?
No, there's no drone footage.
Oh,
Everything's from the ground.
okay.
Well, I think you should have gotten in and gone, given us the bird's eye
You could be
view.
that one that rides on.
The double. $275 for a half hour. Do
Wow.
the double. Yeah, I don't know.
How do they go, how do they come down? I can see how they go up, but
Well, they just kind of, like you saw the one guy, hang on, is it? This guy right here, they just kind of, they come in and they just,
Take the air out of
they
the
take the air
sails.
out of the sail and it just, you see him pulling down and then all at once, he's pulling down, he's taking it out. So,
What is that cloudiness around the edge?
you know, that's the TV. There's a setting on the, as soon as that started, I saw that and I was like, oh, I don't like that. I was looking, because I looked at like right there.
Yeah.
If I change the setting, let me see if I can change the setting real quick. Because I saw that, I was like, I immediately looked down here and I'm like, oh, it's not that.
I thought maybe you had a mask on it.
Well, I do have a mask, but let's see if we go to, that's better. It's not as noticeable now. See that?
yeah.
You don't see it like you did before. Because it was almost like there was also like a blurry.
Yeah, it was.
A halo effect.
On your gimbal,
Yeah.
are you using the Apple photograph or are you using the gimbal, the DJI app?
No, I use the Apple. I don't bother with the DJI.
And that'll follow?
Well, I'm manually
Your manual.
doing it. I'm not doing like a tracking thing.
Okay.
So, we've talked about that before. Daryl likes you to use the DJI thing because he'll like to zoom and do a bunch of other stuff, and I don't complicate it that way. I'd rather just keep things really simple. I'm not that smart.
I like it just primarily for the zoom effect.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're pinching your phone or, whatever to try and it doesn't work for me.
Well, one thing I found too is I try to not, unless I absolutely have to, do some sort of a zoom I'd rather stop that shot and then do my zoom, now start the camera again. But again, we all work differently, and if you got a method that works for you, great. So anyway, yeah, it was just a lot of fun it's always fun to go out there, and now they even have, you can get adult beverages and sit on the thing there, although I did not have adult beverages. But you could sit out there and just go out there and watch these. It's just fun to watch them go by and stuff. And on a beautiful day.
I like the opening shot where all the colors in the glider were
That-
almost supposed to.
that shot or that shot?
Yeah, that one.
Well, thanks. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I mean, I shot a bunch of stuff and you're trying to find stuff that's shots that are different. So it's just not the same, or the motion is different from shot to shot. So it's not always going left to right or right to left.
And I like where you got the coastline when you're opening. So
Yeah, thanks.
shows
Well,
where they're at.
Well, and the thing that I always like too, which when you see these people go off the edge, it's not like that's just like 10 feet below. It's hundreds of feet down, and I can't even imagine the first time that you would be running to the edge, and like, please God,
Let there be air.
let there be air. Please lift me because I'm going right off the edge and I will not make it. So anyway, it's fun to watch them, and I think a lot of these people are coming out at the end of the day after work, fly in the late afternoon, early evening. So the winds coming up off the ocean are great, and actually it's a little chilly. And if you look at that guy's got like his little cocoon to stay nice and warm while he's in there. So
How long will they stay up once you're up?
I think it's just however long they decide they want to be out there flying around.
How high do they get?
The one shot where we show the coast, that shot, I mean, they're up there pretty good.
Way up there.
They're up there pretty good. I'm sure there's some, it's not like they could go up to 1,000 feet because that wind is coming up off the ocean and being pushed up the edge. So that's why you see them go up and along that ridge.
It's not much fun once you get up too high anyway.
So,
So
yeah.
do they need to make sure that they get out over the ocean, or do they fly over the cliff?
Oh, they're flying over the cliff there. Well, and then you see them like when like the guy comes flying in here, like this shot here. Hang on, is it that one? They're coming back over the ground and they're right over the area where they're landing. So, I think the thing that would scare the hell out of me is you're always watching you have to be watching other people.
Yeah.
Or running into.
Yeah. Well, I would worry about running into somebody else and then crashing and you're both dead. So,
Was there only that one person that had, it looked like they were
like in a
throwing
yeah,
instead of.
yeah, they're all
That's a
different.
different kind of a kite.
They're all different and they all had, some of them didn't have stuff like that and others. Well, that guy was, I don't know if he had I can't remember if he had like a little, they put their feet in a baggie kind of thing to help stay warm.
Oh,
So, and then they can, when they land, they can take their feet out of that baggie kind of thing.
that's kind of the old style.
Yeah.
So when the Parawings came out, that was the only thing they were doing like 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was interesting just to see there was just that one person with the hang glider. So anyway.
Do they belong to a club of sorts?
I don't know.
So they should be controlled like a drone, on how high they can go.
Well, like I said, I have a feeling that there may be a limit because of what they're trying to get is that updraft. That's what's giving them the lift.
And they lose it way up.
They may get up too high and it's gonna lose that effect. I don't know.
It's only so high you can
It's
get.
not like a thermal where you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think of like a glider, over a Midwestern farm field with the black field and they're getting that thermal and they go up thousands and thousands of feet. I don't think they can do that in this. So, I can't remember who said it, but part of the fun for these guys is flying along that ridge. And anyway, so it just, if you're ever in San Diego, go up to Torrey Pines and there's signs for the glider port. And I highly recommend it. You can take pictures, you can you're right there on the deck. You can't go out where these guys are doing their stuff, but you still get lots of great shots. So anyway.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see.
It's definitely fun to see. Okay. Does anybody have anything else? All right. We are not meeting next week because it is Memorial Day weekend. And the club is closed on Monday. So our next get together is on June 2nd. And Todd will be here hosting. He doesn't know it yet, but I'll tell him because I'll be gone. All right. That's it for today. Bye, everybody. Have a great day and we'll be talking to you. Thanks. Bye-bye.